There comes a time in the life of every man and woman when everything begins to shift, a time when what once satisfied you no longer excites your soul, a time when the voices of comfort and conformity no longer keep you still, a time when the Spirit begins to whisper to your heart, and if you listen closely you'll realize it's not confusion, it's transition, it's not chaos, it's preparation, you're not being punished, you're being positioned. And my friend, if you are sensing this stirring deep within your spirit, you must understand you are being led to the next level. There is no growth without resistance, no elevation without pressure, no next level without separation. The moment you declare to the universe that you are ready for more, life will test that declaration, and God, being the wise and mighty architect of destiny, will not promote a soul that has not been purified by process. So when you start to feel like you're losing everything, understand, you are not losing, you are being loosed from comfort, loosed from control, loosed from the very things that would have kept you ordinary. There are signs, divine signs, that God is taking you higher, and it starts with disruption. Have you ever had everything going just fine? Your days felt predictable, the people around you familiar, your dreams manageable. And then suddenly, without warning, everything starts to shake. You lose interest in what once excited you, conversations feel shallow, friends seem distant, goals once meaningful now feel too small. You think something is wrong with you, but I assure you, it is not confusion. It is the calling. It is the voice of destiny reaching out from a place your eyes cannot see, but your spirit remembers. You are outgrowing the level you're on. You were never meant to stay where you are. Disruption is heaven's announcement. I'm preparing you for something greater. But make no mistake, elevation requires elimination, and God will remove anything that cannot go with you into the next chapter. People, habits, patterns, thoughts. You may weep over what you lost, but one day you will rejoice over what you gained. Stop holding on to the things God is trying to remove. Some doors close because your destiny doesn't live behind them anymore. Some relationships end because you were only meant to walk together for a season, not a lifetime. When God begins to prune, it hurts, but what is pruning? It is not punishment. It is preparation for more fruit. When God takes you to the next level, your capacity must increase. That means you will be stretched, pulled, challenged. You'll feel uncomfortable, uncertain, unqualified, and yet this is the perfect soil for growth. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called, so if you feel overwhelmed, good. If you feel underprepared, perfect. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. He does not raise warriors in palaces. He raises them in battlefields, and so if it feels like a fight, it's because it is. A fight for your future, a fight for your mind, a fight for your purpose. Your thoughts will be the first battlefield. You'll begin to notice the lies in your mind no longer work. The lie that you're not enough, the lie that your past disqualifies you, the lie that others are more deserving, the lie that you have to settle. All of these lies will rise up as you rise up, but you must answer them with truth. And what is the truth? That you are chosen, that you are equipped, that you are here for a reason far greater than comfort, that God does not make mistakes, and your name was written into this world for such a time as this. Another sign you are rising is the increase in spiritual sensitivity. You begin to discern things differently. Your spirit reacts to what once seemed harmless. You start craving solitude more than noise. You're pulled to prayer, pulled to purpose, pulled to people who challenge you to grow. You can no longer tolerate gossip, drama, or distraction. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You're not better than anyone, but you've grown beyond certain energies, and that's how you know you are rising. But this shift also brings a sacred loneliness. For a while, you may walk alone. You may feel isolated, misunderstood, even abandoned, and yet, let me assure you, this is not rejection, it is redirection. God often calls his greatest warriors into seasons of isolation. Moses had to flee into the wilderness before he could lead a nation. Joseph was thrown into a pit, then a prison, before ruling in a palace. David was anointed king but sent back to the field. Jesus himself went into the desert. Why? Because solitude strips away every false identity. It reveals who you are. It tunes your ears to God's voice. And only when you know who you are in Him can you handle the weight of the next level. You will not elevate with ego. God will not promote pride. So the fire you feel, the pressure, the delays, they are humbling you, and humility is the key to sustained greatness. Without it, success will destroy you, but with it, nothing can stop you, because God gives grace to the humble. And when you are graced, doors open that no man can shut. When you are graced, you walk with authority, not arrogance, but spiritual confidence. You stop begging and start declaring. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop surviving and start thriving. This next level will demand discipline. You must become obsessed with your assignment, focused on your vision, disciplined in your habits. This is not the season to waste energy on things that do not serve your calling. This is the time to say no to the good, so you can say yes to the great. To say no to what's urgent, so you can focus on what's important. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions, but your peace will come from one place, purpose. When you know why you're here, you stop asking for permission to live, and you will notice opportunities will come not because you chased them, but because you became the version of yourself who naturally attracts them. You didn't force the fruit, you cultivated the roots. The deeper the roots, the higher the tree. So keep digging, keep becoming, keep building when no one claps, keep believing when no one understands. You are not behind, you are being prepared, and when the moment comes, you will rise and not fall. You will speak and mountains will move. You will step through doors that once felt locked for eternity. This is the turning point of your life, but you must decide. Will you stay where it's safe, or rise where it's sacred? Will you settle for average, or sacrifice for greatness? Will you live to impress people, or to fulfill purpose? Because at the next level, you can no longer pretend. You must become. You must embody the vision you were given, not just dream it, live it, speak it, walk in it, and yes, you will be afraid, but fear is not your enemy, stagnation is. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it. If your life feels like it's being turned upside down, it's not falling apart, it's falling into place. Everything is being rearranged for your assignment. And when you look back one day, you will see it clearly. The delays were protection, the rejection was redirection, the pressure was preparation, and the silence was God's voice saying, "Trust me, I'm taking you somewhere higher, so rise up." Don't shrink, don't settle, don't stop. This is your season of elevation, not because of who you are, but because of who God is. And He has already declared the end from the beginning. That means your victory is certain. Your purpose is secure. Your future is unfolding. Now walk in it, speak like it, live like it, and above all, believe like it. Because you, my friend, are going to the next level, ChatGPT said, and as this transformation unfolds, something inside of you begins to awaken. Something ancient, something powerful, something that cannot be explained to the world around you. It's the realization that you were never made to fit in. You were never made to blend into the background of life. You were always destined to lead, to shine, to create, to influence. And yet, the path to that destiny demands that you walk through fire most people run from. It demands that you go deeper when others settle for shallow. It demands that you face the mirror, confront your excuses, and make a decision to grow no matter the cost. There's a reason you've been uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable, but stagnation is deadly. There's a reason you've been restless. The nest is too small for the wings you've been given. The season you've been in can no longer contain the size of your calling. When the eagle outgrows the nest, the mother stirs it, making it prickly and unbearable. Why? So the eagle can fly, so it learns that the sky is not a luxury, it's its home. So understand, when your world gets shaken, it's not an attack. It's an awakening, As you are being prepared for elevation, you'll also notice a divine shift in your desires. What once satisfied no longer fulfills. The conversations that once made you laugh now feel empty. The habits that used to entertain you now feel like distractions, and instead you feel a new fire growing inside, an urgency to focus, a hunger for truth, a passion for purpose that is not by accident. It is evidence that God is refining your appetite, because what you feed your soul determines what you produce in your life, and so He begins to change what you crave. You'll start to prefer wisdom over noise, peace over popularity, prayer over panic, discipline over comfort, and this shift will confuse some people around you. They'll say you've changed, and you have. You were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to stay in survival mode, in scarcity, in smallness. You were born to expand, born to rise, born to grow into the fullest, fiercest version of who you were created to be. And you cannot do that while trying to drag dead weight from the past into the future. So what happens next? God will begin to test your obedience. He'll give you instructions that don't make sense to your logic. He'll ask you to release things you've been clinging to step out in faith before the evidence shows up, to speak life when everything looks dead. This is not a test of comfort. It's a test of character. Can you trust Him without knowing the full plan? Can you obey without full understanding? Can you walk by faith when sight would only slow you down? Because at the next level, faith is your currency. You will not be able to calculate your way forward. You must believe your way forward. You must move as if the promise is already yours. You must walk as though the door is already open. And with every step you take, you will grow stronger, because the journey itself develops the power you'll need to sustain the promise. Do not despise the slow days, the hidden days, the lonely days. They are sacred. In those days you are being made. God is crafting your character in the quiet. He is shaping your integrity in obscurity. He is sharpening your vision when no one is watching, because when He finally reveals you, you must be ready, not just to arrive at the next level, but to remain there, and remaining takes more than talent. It takes tenacity. It takes spiritual maturity. It takes the kind of inner strength that can only be developed in secret. And as you continue, you'll find your discernment deepens. What once impressed you now leaves you empty. You'll see through illusions. You'll detect manipulation. You'll sense distractions from miles away. This is not paranoia, it's protection. God sharpens your spiritual eyes so you no longer waste energy chasing what looks good but leads nowhere. You'll stop being moved by noise and start being led by peace. That peace becomes your compass. When you feel it, move forward. When you lose it, pause. That's how heaven speaks, through a whisper of stillness in a world full of chaos. And as this sensitivity grows, so does your authority. You begin to realize you no longer need to fight every battle. You pick your battles with wisdom. You understand not every storm deserves your reaction. Not every critic deserves a response. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who were never assigned to your destiny. You realize that the highest form of power is restraint, that silence is sometimes your greatest weapon, because you are no longer living for validation. You are living from revelation, and the more you trust God's plan, the more doors begin to open that you didn't even knock on. People start to notice something different in you, not your clothes, not your style, not your status, but your spirit. You carry a frequency that can't be faked, a quiet boldness, a holy confidence, a glow that only comes from someone who has walked through fire and refused to give up. You become unshakable, not because you're perfect, but because you've been anchored, not in fame, not in fortune, but in faith. And with this shift comes the final test. How you treat others. Will you become arrogant? Or will you stay grounded? Will you forget where you came from? Or will you lift others as you rise? Because elevation is not just about rising higher. It's about serving deeper. The higher you go, the more people you can impact. And that's why God is elevating you, not just for you, but through you, to be a vessel, a voice, a light in a dark world, a living example of what happens when someone surrenders their life to something greater than themselves. So keep going, keep pressing, keep believing. You are not crazy, you are not lost, you are not behind, you are in process. And if you stay faithful to the process, you will see the promise. Keep planting the seeds. Keep trusting the silence. Keep preparing even when no one sees you, because the time is coming when what's hidden will be revealed. What's delayed will be delivered. What's broken will be restored. What's been heavy will be lifted. And you, my friend, will rise, not by your own strength, but by the hand of the Almighty who called you before time began. So now you stand at the edge of decision. Do you rise or retreat? Do you follow the voice within, or do you fall back into the noise of the world? You've seen the signs, you've felt the pull, you've heard the whisper in the quiet hours of the night telling you, this is your moment, not because life is easy, not because the road is smooth, but because something unshakable has been placed inside of you, something divine, something eternal, something that will not let you rest in mediocrity. The next level is not coming, it's here, it's not in the distance, it's in your hands. But you must decide, will you carry the weight of your calling, or will you bury it beneath excuses? Will you rise with faith, or fall with fear? Will you trust the God who called you, or trust the comfort that kept you stuck? Let this be the hour you stop shrinking to fit into places you've outgrown. Let this be the hour you silence the doubt, reject the fear, and move like the promise is already yours. You were not born to live at ground level. You were created to soar, to rise, to shake the very earth with the power of your presence. And if God is taking you to the next level, no man, no enemy, no force in hell can stop it. So stand up, speak up, show up, and rise. Not someday, not eventually, not when you feel ready, but now, because the next level is waiting for you.